केयूरहारोज्ज्वलाम् बिम्बोष्टीं स्मितदन्तपङ्क्तिरुचिराम् पीताम्बरां लङ्कृताम् विष्णु ब्रह्म सुरेन्द्रसेवितपदाम् तत्त्वस्वरूपां शिवाम् मीनाक्षीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहम् कारुण्यवारानिधि श्रीविद्या वागनिलया Did you finish your homework? Okay, we will get started. You can start the recording, please, Sarah. अनन्त संसार समुद्रतार नौकायिताभ्यां गुरुभक्तिदाभ्यां वैराग्य साम्राजद पूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां श्रीविद्या शिववामभाग निलया ह्रीङ्कारमन्त्रोज्ज्वला श्रीचक्राङ्कित बिन्दुमध्यवसति श्रीमत्सभानायिका श्रीमत् षण्मुखविघ्नराजजननी श्रीमत् जगन्मोहिनी मीनाक्षीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहम् कारुण्यवारानिधि बोलो जगन माता की जय. All glories to the Divine Mother. All glories to the Divine Mother. Narayana Namaste. So we are continuing on with our Tripura Rahasya Satsang. We had a short break, long break, 2 weeks, and I hope you still remember what we were talking about. I hope you still remember the entire incident of Mahasen and the Bal Yogi, the yogi's son, and the teachings and everything. If you don't, it's all available on YouTube. You can go back and re-listen. Okay. So today we're going to be we're going to have a satsang on chapter number 14 about Sankalp Shakti and the way to attain it. If you, and not if, I know all of you have read Swami's post from yesterday. If you pick up remains the same. He keeps presenting it to us. So what is the reason 10 years later we're still where we're at? What's lacking in us that he has to keep repeating himself so many times? Two things. First, a sense of comfort zone, a sense of comfort in what you already know is normal. You have labeled, you have told yourself a story that this is my life, this is normal, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be. That's the first reason. Second reason, a sense of fear to let go of the comfort and to jump into unknown. Because whatever he's saying, whatever we are discussing in the satsang, these are new ideas, new perspectives. Anything new makes us uncomfortable. A child spends 2 months in summer holidays, and then the first day of school in a new grade, he's nervous because it's change. The comfort that, okay, the same friends are still around me, it gives the child some comfort. But I remember growing up, the sections were changed. So instead of being in section B, I was moved to section C. And I remember crying that first day because my friends were in section A now, or section B somewhere. And I remember crying. The reason being the comfort zone was being taken away. So the first thing we need to do is we really need to evaluate the stories that we tell ourselves. If we look at every story we tell ourselves, know for a fact that's a mental construct. That's exactly what a mental construct is. I am unhappy because of my husband. That's a mental construct. I am unhappy because of the people I work with. That's a mental construct. Because that's a story I have told myself and I have believed in it. And that one story that my spouse is the cause of my problems, I have taken that one thought and without any interruptions of doubt, I have fed that thought. And what is the manifestation? The spouse, in fact, appears to be the greatest obstacle in my life. Similarly, we can pick any story we want to tell ourselves. It could be the craziest story, but the story we believe in without a doubt. We are so sure that a certain family member, it could be mother-in-law, father-in-law, husband, wife, children, neighbor, people you work with, we have made up our minds. This person is the cause of misery in my life. And we never question that belief. So that belief moves in a continuity in our life, in our mind. It moves with a continuous flow, and the flow is only broken by questioning it. But we never question because we're so comforted in that. I am not the problem. I am the pure, perfect soul. The people around me, they are directly from hell. They are the source of all my problems. And we never question it. So then that story becomes the manifestation in our life. And today's chapter is all about Sankalp Shakti, which means the day you decide I was looking at some messages. It says, I've got audio, but Nancy is unable to join. Okay. If it is not important, please try not to message me because it just pops on my screen and I'm like, what's going on? Then I wonder if people can hear me or not. Jagat Dhatri, Jagan Mata, Narayani, Namostute. Jagat Dhatri, Jagan Mata, Narayani, Namostute. So we were talking about a certain belief without interruptions of doubt and question becomes manifestation in our life. It's, let's say you work with a certain person and you have a belief that this other person is out there to get you at work, is out there to get you in trouble, or is out there constantly competing with you. You have a thought comes from somewhere. Oh, maybe this person doesn't like me and is trying to plot against me. It's just a flying thought, a random, extremely random thought that has come to you. If you are mindful, if you are aware, you will empty your mind and you'll again be a blank slate. You are allowing the other person to be who they want to be. And you understand that their behavior comes from the standpoint that they think this is what is right, they're doing it. Or the other way is you take that thought and you let it come over and over again in a continuous flow without you interfering in between and questioning it, saying, wait a second, why am I even thinking this way? What's up with this crooked thinking? No, you're not questioning it. You're not even giving the other person the benefit of doubt. A thought has emerged, you have accepted that this thought is Brahmavakya, and you are giving it food. You're letting it circle, circle, circle. With this continuity of the thought without an interruption of doubt or question, the manifestation shows up. Now you see, this person is actually plotting against you. Every action, you see it with that perception that, oh, this was a plot. She wanted me to get down. That's why she's trying to compete against me. It has already become reality. In Mother's creation, she wants her children to enjoy, live it up. But the children have become adults. And now they have come up with great stories they believe in. They have told themselves these stories. These stories hold no water, but the children who have become adults have now accepted these stories. So the reason why Swami was writing the same truths 10 years ago is still writing the same thing 10 years later, yet we remain the same, is because there is a sense of comfort in belief structures. There is a sense of losing control to take up a new perspective. To make that leap of faith, you need to be strong. You need to be courageous. Hence, dhira dhira samarchita. Only the one who is willing to question his belief structures. Only the one who is able to drop these stories that they tell themselves is able to move towards transformation. Swami's dharma is to write. He will write. He will continue to guide. What is your dharma is something you have to decide. So after listening, After listening to the sage's son with his purified mind, Mahasen started seeing things more clearly. I hope I could read this as, after listening to Swami's words with a purified mind, all the devotees started seeing things more clearly. Comparing the objects of the external world with the objects seen in the dreaming state, he attained freedom from sorrow. What's the greatest gift you can give to your guru, who is working day and night so that you can be happy? Is your transformation. No matter how many words you add, no matter how many superlative degrees you add, I offer the greatest, infinite multitude of gratitude to you. It's meaningless. Your gratitude is in your transformation, which is why we worship his padukas, the values upon which he stands, the teachings upon which he stands, which is truth. How much you're willing to let go of your belief systems, how much you're willing to let go of the stories you tell yourself about others, about yourself. Oh, I'm not good at art. I've never, I've always been so bad at art. It's a story you've told yourself, which means you have completely closed that avenue, saying, nah, I can't do it. Because we won't even say, let me give it a try. I'm just not good at it. Blanket statement. And then you never question it, you never doubt it. Hence, you're never good at art. Stories we tell ourselves. Okay, so now Mahasen has a question for the Bal Yogi, the little boy. He says, you said that all this happened through imagination. How? No matter how much I imagine something, it does not necessarily occur inside me, outside me. So the yogi replies, imagination here is identical with determination, which is of two kinds, perfect and imperfect. Imagination without doubt is helpful. The absence of doubt means continuity of one thought. So Mahasen is asking the yogi, you're saying all this happened because of your imagination, and imagination is not the right word for the Sanskrit term bhavana. Bhavana is not just imagination. Bhavana is much more, but lack of a proper English word for it, we're using imagination. But I want you to understand this is much more than imagination. So Mahasen asked the yogi, you're saying that all this is because of the power of your imagination. But no matter how much I imagine, I cannot manifest anything outside of me. What's up with that? So for that, the yogi says, imagination is of two types, perfect and imperfect. Bhavana is of two types, siddha bhavana and asiddha bhavana. Siddha bhavana is when there is no doubt in that thought. A continuity of thought is a siddha bhavana. Asiddha bhavana is when you have doubts and when you have questions. Is the mother real? I don't know. Sometimes I doubt. That's why there is no manifestation. But if you see the Guru is real, the Guru is truth incarnate, the Guru is a Satyarati, and the Guru is saying, Mother is real. Who's, and at that point, whose evidence is stronger to you? Your senses that can't see the mother, that can't hear the mother, that can't feel the mother, or your Guru Vakya, that mother is real. It's a question of faith. So what the yogi here is saying is, imagination is identical with determination. Determination is Sankalp Shakti. If you take a Sankalp, mother is real. She is my mother. I am worthy of her grace. Her kingdom of love belongs to me alone because she is my mother. We're not talking about the mother. We're talking about my mother. Your mother and your mother's kingdom of love belongs to you alone. Like the child gets the property of the parents, you, as the child of the divine, are the sole heir to the kingdom of his love or her love. If you proclaim this without doubt, which means anytime, is mother real? Drop it. Yes, mother is real. My guru says, who never speaks anything that's untrue. My guru says mother is real. That's enough for me. Mother is real. The universe is in existence because of the desire of Brahma, the creator. Brahma created the universe with his powerful desire. Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti Swarupini. This is the name of the Divine Mother. Ichha Shakti, the desire to create. Jnana Shakti, how it is to be created and how it is to be maintained. Kriya Shakti, the actual process of creation. These are all her powers. And she is his Shakti. So when the universe was to, when the creation was to be created, I don't want to say created because the word created means you take some things and you create something. Then there is a creator, and then there is a material with which the creator created the creation. I want to say the word manifested. The creation was manifested by Ichha Shakti. The personification of Ichha Shakti is Brahmadev. He desired to create, to manifest the creation, and that desire, that power to create, that Sankalp Shakti was given to him by the Divine Mother. The universe is in existence because of the desire of Brahma. The world created by your desire and will was not created with determination and will, like the creation of Brahma. So when Brahmadev was given the Shakti by the Divine Mother, in Saundarya Lahari it is said that Brahmadev went to the Divine Mother and she took one speck of dust. He collected one speck of dust from Mother's feet and he created this entire creation. And that speck of dust is her Sankalp Shakti. So the yogi is saying, your world is not created like that of Brahma because your will and your determination is full of doubts. It doesn't hold any power. By self-determination, the past sankalpas are forgotten. Sankalp should be done with full determination. This is what we were talking. If you believe in Swami, if you believe in his words, take every word of his as Brahmavakya. That there is no scripture that can stand against that one word. You have to have that firm determination in your Guru's words. And when you develop firm determination in his perspective, in his words, then the past sanskaras will automatically fall away. But our problem is we are so comforted by our own belief structures and we love seeing his post. Oh, so nice, Swamiji, you did such a good job. That's enough. Those flowery words are enough for us. Just say, oh, beautiful words, Swamiji, I feel so good. Done. But we are still happy with our own belief structures. So here the yogi is saying, by self-determination, the past sankalpas are forgotten. The day you take up every teaching of Swami saying, okay, I'm going to apply it in my life, the past sanskaras will be forgotten. Such is the power of truth. His words are nothing but fire. That fire will burn all the past sanskaras. Sankalp should be taken with full determination. One should wash off all those old stains of the mind in order to make a new and effective discipline. Such a one-pointed concept cannot be obstructed in any way. All great things can be achieved through such a power. So sankalp that yes, I do want to transform. I want to worship the padukas or the padukas upon which my guru stands. Those padukas are nothing but his values and his teachings. And I worship his teachings. When you say I worship my guru, what exactly are you worshipping? The physical body? Which is why Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam. I worship your teachings. And when you say you worship, you hold them so high that you cannot not follow them. Your mind is not one-pointed and concentrated. Therefore, you should learn to focus your mind. And one-pointed concentration doesn't mean you just sit in meditation all the time. It just means you know where you're going. Like Swami says, there is one way that goes to Delhi, and there are all these ways that don't go to Delhi. Where do you want to go is up to you. If you want to follow his teachings, be brave to drop the old tendencies and follow his teachings. If he says that if you're sad, if you're negative, question. Question what is the story you have told yourself. Be brave and question. After questioning, be brave and drop it. And then the yogi goes on to explain that, you're so stuck in this outside world, Mahasen, but let me tell you, the nature of the universe is to appear in diverse forms, various different names and forms. That is the nature of the universe. Hundreds and thousands of objects are contrary to each other. There is a lot of stuff in this chapter that you can read on your own. I just want to touch upon the most important main points. Then the yogi says to Mahasen, "O prince, listen carefully. The inner reality is actually the cause of the universe. As the mirror supports the image, the universe is supported by the self-existent reality." Again, going back to the sun within. Imagine, now this is the English word imagine. Imagine the sun that you see outside. That same sun is within your heart. And light from it is coming out in all different directions around you. In that light, you see your body, you see everything around you. In that light, you remember what happened yesterday. In that light, you remember your family members. In that light, you recognize people. In that light, you're listening to this satsang. In that light, everything is happening. This is what is the yogi saying. The inner reality is the cause of the universe. The body is different from the seer. Whatever you're seeing in front of you is the scene that you're seeing. But the seer is not the scene. I know in the past we talked about how it's all one reality. But here we are making a clear-cut distinction that whatever is being illumined by the light, don't think that's you. You are the one illuminating the existence of everything around you. Everyone around you exists because you exist. And that you or that I is ahamityeva vibhavaye bhavani. There is one dhyan shlok, aruna karuna tarangitakshi dhrita pashankusha pushpabana chapa अणिमादिभिरावृतां मयूखैः अहम् इति विभावये भवानी. It says Arunam. Arunam is the sun. Karunam. That Aruna is also Karuna. Bhavani is Dayani. Dayani is Bhavani. The one that's always there is Bhavani. The one that's always there is full of compassion, full of kindness. Aruna, which is the sun that exists within you, is Karuna. Arunam Karunam Tarangitakshi. Like the waves of the ocean are never ending, the light emerging from the sun within is never ending. It cannot be limited, saying it will only go to that wall. It is never ending. Right now, you can take that light all the way to Pluto, all the way outside Milky Way. You can take that light to an atom, to an electron, from smaller than smallest to farther than farthest. You can take that light anywhere because, like the waves of the ocean, it's never ending. Arunam Karunam Tarangitakshim Dhrutapashankusha Pushpabana Chapam. Holding the antakarna, man, buddhi, the mind, the senses, the likes and dislikes. Dhrita pashankusha pushpabana chapam animadibhiravrutam mayukhai. Mayuk is rays. All the rays emerging from her. Each ray is a siddhi, is a shakti. Anima adi, anima, laghima, garima, all these are shaktis of Sri Chakra. All these, each ray of light emerging from her is one Shakti. Anima Adi Viravritam Mayukhaihi, surrounded by all the Shaktis, which is nothing but the rays emerging from the sun. Animadi Viravritam Mayukhaihi Aham iti vibhavaye Bhavani. That sun is aham. I am making the bhavana. Iti vibhavaye. Vibhavaye. Vi is vishishta bhavana. I am creating that extreme bhavana within me without a doubt, without a question. That aham in me is your form, mother. And how is that form? It is like the sun with many rays emerging from it, extending to all corners of my world. This here is being explained by the yogi to Mahasen. That which is seen because of illumination. In the absence of that, nothing can be seen. And as I say all the time, if you drop dead, your world, your thoughts, your stories, your people, they all die for you. They're all dead for you. Everything is extinguished at that moment. Actually, all the illumined objects are within the vision of the seer. The seer and the seen are not one and the same. Here again, in the past, we talked about Drik Drishya Vivek. Don't think it's contrary, it's not. This perspective here is to bring our awareness from the world to the sun within. That's why here it's being said that. Then Mahasen asked the yogi, in your world, time and space are different. Inside that small rock, you made the bhavna that there is an entire universe. You made the bhavna inside the rock that 1.5 day is thousands of years outside. One of that has to be false. How is this possible? Time and space are the extension of the self-illumined being. For the self-illumined existence, there is nothing like within or without. And just like the peak of a mountain cannot be separate from the rest of the mountain, the self is not separate from that which is illumined. Illumination cannot be separate from the self. You see, a person living in a village, right? For him, the time runs at a different speed, a different pace. He might wake up very early, go to the fields, and be back at whatever time. A person in the city, for him, the time runs at a different pace. The time on a Monday morning runs at a different pace than Sunday morning. The time for a child is different than the time for his parents. It runs at different paces. A child is carefree. The mother or the father has to hurry up, you're getting late for the school, hurry up. The parents are worried. The child has a different sense of time. A person who is retired has a totally different sense of time. He's in no rush to wake up. He's in no rush to get to the shower and get out of the house. He's in no rush. A person who is at the peak of his career, their sense of time is totally different. So you see, the yogi is trying to explain the sense of time exists in your mind. Now let's talk about space. If you're living in a village with maybe 20 houses, your sense of space is different. If you have to go from your house to the end of the village, to the last house, you're taking a trip. Before leaving, you're like, okay, I'm going to be back late. Okay, I have to go all the way to that house and come back. It could be barely half a mile, barely. A person living in a city, for him, 15, 16 kilometers, my office is quite close. It's just 16 kilometers. I work pretty close to my home. It's just 30 miles away. So the space is also relative. Your perception of time and space depends on your mind. If you are currently living in a bustling city, your sense of time and your sense of space are going to be different. You go on a vacation to the ashram for 10 days, your sense of time, your sense of space will be different. You will walk with no rush. You will wake up with no rush. Your sense of performing actions during the day will be with a different view. So the question posed to the yogi was, how are these time and space different? And the yogi is saying, time and space exist in your mind. It's a perception of your mind. And then he says, the sun is giving out light. Again, imagine sun within and light everywhere. How does distance come into picture? The same light starts here and goes infinitely. And it's not like the light slowly starts becoming smaller. For as far as it can go, it shines equally. So there is no sense of space. Whether you're here, whether you're there, no matter where you are still the sun and the light is still there. So whether you're sitting wherever you're sitting here, or after the satsang, let's say you go somewhere else, the sun is still where it's at, the light is around. Then you say, oh, let me go over there. Then you go somewhere else. The light is still there, the sun is still there. So this space this thought of space and this thought of, I want to be somewhere else. No matter where you are, you still are. There is no change. You might think the life in ashram is better. I want to be in the ashram. But even while you're in the ashram, you are the sun and the light is around. Even when you're not in the ashram, the light is around, you are the sun. Now let's talk about time. The light illuminates day and night. The light illuminates the clock. The light illuminates, it's 10 o'clock, it's this time. It's 12 o'clock, it's lunchtime. It's 5 o'clock, it's walk time. It's in the perception of the mind. The light is equal. So the time and space, O Mahasain, they exist in your mind. In my little rock, you think it's little because you're comparing it to the rest of the world. You think, oh, this is a great big kingdom. I live in a big palace. This is a big palace. That's your perception. This little rock was enough for me. I said, my entire universe is in there. I said, okay, 1.5 day equals to thousands of years of earth time. I equated it according to my bhavana. Just like a retired person equates his time to, okay, I'm going to wake up at 10. I'm going to eat my breakfast maybe at 11. I'm going to laze around, watch TV until 2, whatever. I'm just saying. A retired person has defined his time. A person who is at the peak of his career has defined his time. Similarly, Mahasain, I have decided my time in this rock. I said 1.5 day equals to thousands of years outside. So then he says, time and space are the extension of the self-illumined being. For the self-illumined existence, there is nothing like within and without. Because there is the sun and there is light. Apart from that, there is no inside me, outside world, inside world, job, spiritual life, worldly life, professional life. These are all created in the mind. It's all one light. The whole universe is always encompassed by light within and without. Such light is transcendental and is called Supreme Tripura. If the sun were Lord Shiva, then his Shakti that flows, that moves, that takes his energy is Ma Tripur Sundari, the Supreme Goddess. Just like an image cannot be separate from a mirror, the universe cannot be separated from consciousness. This is the glory of the real self. If consciousness and brilliance are all pervading, then from where will darkness and ignorance be born? It's a perception of the mind, and that's Mahamaya. The same, it's one light, but instead of seeing the sun, instead of seeing the sun that illumines everything, our focus is on that which is illumined. If you're looking at a chair and a table in front of you, your awareness is saying, oh, this is a chair, this is a table. Instead of saying, that which makes me see, that which makes me perceive this world, that is my true nature, that is Mother Divine. As the mirror contains the image, so the all-pervading consciousness pervades the universe by its power. The self-existent consciousness is within and without. It is single and dense and holds the immobile and mobile universe in its womb. This is the concept of Hiranyagarbha. Hiranya is golden, Garbha is womb. I will read this again. The self-existent consciousness, which is the sun. The sun and the light of it is within and without. It is single and dense. It holds the immobile and mobile universe in its womb. So your world consisting of mobile, which is either animals, people, or immobile, which could be chair, table, and all that. all of this is contained in single dense consciousness. It's all in the womb, Hiranyagarbha. Through sadhana, an advanced meditator can verify the different states such as waking and dreaming. The young yogi said, "O prince, learn to examine your waking and dreaming states and the images constantly going through your mind. All these images are the product of your mind." Consciousness remains unaffected before creation, after dissolution, and during the appearance of the world, which is what the teen avasthas are, the three states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. You are awake, you are dreaming, you are in deep sleep. The you remains the same, and that you is the I, is the sun, is the Parachiti, is Lord Shiva. That light of the sun illumines the waking state, illumines the dream state, illumines the deep sleep. I'm trying to recollect those lines from Lalita Sahasranam. Swapanti Tejasatmika, Vishwarupa Jagarini, Vishwarupa Jagarini, Swapanti Tejasatmika, Supta Pragnatmika, Turya Sarvavastha Vivarjita. Vishwarupa. Vishwa is your world, your universe, your creation. Whatever you see around you is your world. That is your Vishwa. Vishwarupi Jagarani. In the Jagrat Avastha, in the waking state, she is the form of the Vishwa that you see around you. Vishwarupi Jagarani, Swapanti Tejasatmika. In your dream state, she illumines the dream state as Tejas, as Tejas. She illuminates the dream state. Swapanti Tejasatmika, Supta, which is deep sleep, Pragnatmika, you just remain as Prajna or awareness that yes, I slept so well, I had no dreams, I was in deep sleep. Supta, Pragnatmika, Turiya. Turiya is the fourth state. Turiya, Sarvavastha Vivarjita. She is beyond all these avasthas of waking, sleeping, dreams, dream state. She is beyond all that. In the fourth state. And that fourth state is the state wherein you just are. And that fourth state can be experienced right here, right now. When you empty your mind and you center yourself, you enter in the fourth state. You may not be able to stay there for too long, but that is the fourth state. To continuously practice being centered. Let's say you got upset at someone. That's fine. It's done. Center yourself. Don't dwell, oh, why am I so bad? Why am I this? Guilt trips, none of that. Drop it. As part of human conditioning, sometimes you get upset, sometimes you do this, sometimes you do that. Just instantly come back to your center. And before starting any work, center yourself. When you center, you are directly in Turiya. From Turiya, you are guided in actions. You carry out the divine will. Though absolute self-existent reality manifests itself, yet that self-existent reality remains unblemished by its manifestations. So although Divine Mother manifests herself as Vishwarupa, as your world, as the dream state, as Tejas in dream state, as Prajna in deep sleep, she remains unblemished, which is why Turiya Sarvavastha Vivarjita. All of these avasthas don't touch her. She remains unblemished. Try it any day. Center yourself a couple of times during waking state. And you see, you will identify that feeling, that I. After dreaming, let's say you wake up and you're like, oh, I dreamt, but the I remained the same. Even when you slept really well with no dreams, the I remained the same. The I remains untouched by the happenings of the outside world, by the happenings of the dream world, or while in deep sleep. After this, there are, from I think 59 onwards, there's a lot of uh, points that I'm just skipping because they are all spiritual jargon. I'm not saying they're not important. All I'm saying is you can read it on your own and try to understand. Whatever is the take home point we're discussing in the satsang, you all have the books. You can go through it and enjoy the spiritual jargon. So he says, in this way, absolute consciousness herself, the witness of all, appears as the universe, as if it were external to her. How beautiful. In this way, absolute consciousness herself, which is Divine Mother as I, the witness of all, appears as the universe, as if it were external to her, and that's Maya. You feel like that is outside of me, and this is inside of me. That is outside, this is inside. Tera mera, that's Maya. This is yours, this is mine, this is outside, this is inside, the Dvait. That which is the prime cause of this universe is called Tripura Shakti. From its desire was born Brahma, and from the will and determination of Brahma, this universe came into existence. But that which is I and you is pure consciousness. Diversity in the universe appears because of the many phases of consciousness. When the universe dissolves, then one cannot differentiate between the real and unreal. Again, we were discussing how the light is falling on different things. Various names and forms are appearing. They all look real. They all look real to you because they are Vishwarupa Jagarini. In the form of the Vishwa, in the waking state, everything you see is manifestation of the Divine Mother. Vishwarupa Jagarini, Swapanti Tejasatmika. The consciousness in you is veiled by the power of Maya. When that veil is lifted, consciousness shines in its full glory, and then Chit Shakti shines forth. And this is what we were talking about. The mind needs to learn new sanskaras, new perspectives. The whole point of these satsangs, reading posts and everything is to learn new perspectives of looking at the world. With this, the mind becomes emptier, emptier, emptier by the day. And when the mind is totally empty of all the mental constructs, all the stories we tell, all the belief structures, then the Chit Shakti floods the mind. And such a mind then perceives the entire world as light of the sun within. Then there is no within, no without. All there is that consciousness. Consciousness is like a screen, and the image is the universe. The adepts know the secret of time and space. O Prince, acknowledge the fact that the universe is an image of the mirror of consciousness and concentrate with one pointed mind on the self. Be free from delusion that the world is real. So he's saying, I have explained all this to you. Know that whatever you are seeing is in the light of the self. Hence, knowing thus, concentrate on the self. There are two steps. First is realization that everything I'm able to see, everything I'm able to perceive is because of the light of the self. And step two is to situate your mind in the self, constantly situating your mind in the self. This is Advait sadhana. Bhakti says, flood your mind with your isht, and that will do the same thing. If you are in love, it's easy to flood your mind with the thoughts of your beloved. Either empty your mind completely and become a yogi and let the Chit Shakti flood your mind, or become a devotee and fill your mind with thoughts of your Isht. Because then that mind will bring forth the sun. You are bringing the sun into the mind, and then again it will illuminate the world. Narrating this story, Dattatreya said to Parshuram, Parshuram, by having satsang with the sage's son, the prince's ignorance was dispelled, and his faculty of discrimination became sharp and purified. And what is discrimination? To differentiate between real and unreal. Finally, he knew his ultimate goal, and then he practiced the technique of samadhi. The practice of samadhi is to situate your awareness in the sun, in the self, in your isht. He practiced the technique of samadhi. For attaining samadhi, he did not depend on external crutches. How beautiful is that? This is purusharth that we have to do. No one can give it to us that which belongs to us already. We alone have to continuously bring our mind back from the happenings of the world, back from our own thoughts and stories and everything, back into the self. Keep the mind empty, or keep the mind filled with your thoughts of your Isht. His life became happy and his lifespan was extended. He no longer identified himself with his body or any other object of the world. He became illumined and finally attained liberation. O Parshuram, remember that this universe is only an image. It has no existence of its own. See, the words are very clear here. It has no existence of its own. He is not saying it has no existence. The world exists. Your world exists because you exist. Your existence is the basis for the existence of your world. So important are you, yet your focus is on the world. Bring your focus back from the world into you. You and I, these words being pure consciousness, or the self, or the Divine Mother. O Parshuram, remember that this universe is only an image and it has no existence of its own. With the help of contemplation, doubt will be removed from your mind. With this ends the chapter, discussion of the nature of real and unreal. So let's see if we have any questions. Anyone would like to share anything? I will go ahead and mute myself. If there are any questions, you can use the chat window or unmute yourself.
So, hello. Um, I have I don't know if it's a question, but I think it falls well with the lockdown and everything about the concept of time being in the mind. Um, so obviously right now time is very slow. Maybe I missed it, but so how do we rise above this difference in perception of time? Is it just going above the mind?
Um, there is there is no need to rise above the time and space. It's like, you you walk into a room and you see something that looks like a snake. You are scared. You switch on the light, it's a rope. Once you know it's a rope, nothing more needs to be done. You don't need to update your status saying that's a rope, not a snake. You don't need to proclaim, you don't need to rise above it. The the very fact that you know it's not a snake is enough. That being said, going back to our practice of um, respond to life, like this lockdown, we have labeled it lockdown. So it's sending some messages. That word itself is sending some messages to the mind. If you just take this time, it is what it is. Work is closed. Because I used to think, oh, this downtime, this downtime. Somewhere I'm sending the mind a message that this is downtime. You're not being productive, Anu. And it creates some subtle restlessness in the mind, saying, oh, it's a downtime, it's downtime. The time is what it is. Your perception of it is that it's a lockdown. It just is what is. If you just let it be the way it is and just do whatever is needed without judging this time as lockdown, downtime, free time, blessed time, I'm so blessed I got this time. None of this. It's actually either you take everything as a blessing or you take nothing as a blessing. This middle way, here and there, is the problem. Then we start picking and choosing. Oh, this is a blessing. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. So the problem exists in defining the time. If you just do what you're doing, then there is no question of rising above the lockdown situation. It just is what is. A situation has emerged, not just in where you live, in the whole world. And what can I do? What am I to do in this time? That's it. That's all matters. When I wake up, what presents in front of me and what I need to do. But the problem arises when I label it. Oh, this is lockdown. I can't do. Instantly the mind says, which means you can't go out, which means you can't do this. If you say, oh, this is my downtime, my office is closed, it's my downtime. Instantly the mind says, oh, which means there's no production this week, this month, which means there's going to be a loss, which means there's going to be this. So you see, instantly these subtle waves begin. If we don't define the time and just do what we are supposed to do, the day passes by as usual, but it's this, nagging habit of the mind to define names and forms and situations and everything. Let's say I have to go from here to the grocery store. Let's say the one closer to my house is closed. Oh my God, I have to go to that grocery store. It's so far away. So before I make that trip, I've already made that trip in my mind. I'm already tired because I've made that trip. And then sometimes I'll wake up and say, oh, I have to go to the grocery store today. Oh, I have to go there. I can't believe I have to go there. You see, in my mind, I've already made those trips 7 times. When I'm actually the 8th time when I actually go, I'm already tired because I've made that trip so many times. So the lockdown, it's a lockdown, it's a lockdown, it's a lockdown. You're already getting tired and anxious and antsy and depressed about the lockdown, because you can't do stuff. It is what it is without any judgment of what it is. You wake up and you see what needs to be done and you do it. Tomorrow, if something changes, you see, okay, what do I do now? And you do it. But a sense of lockdown will color your vision because now you're like, oh, it's lockdown. I can't do this. I can't do that. But if you remove that sense of lockdown, you just do what you're supposed to do. Whatever opens up in front of you, you just respond to it. Does that make sense, Komkom?
Yes, Anu, makes sense. Thank you.
Anu, can I add something to what you said?
Please do, please do.
Okay, so her question was, um, how do we go beyond time and space, irrespective of the current situation of the lockdown? Forget it for a minute. Going beyond time is being in the now, because now is what is. The past is not, the future is not. The now is. Mother is in Nitya. I think I've said this so many times. And she is Turiya Teeth. She is not even Turiya. She is not the fourth state. She is Turiya Teeth. She is beyond all the states. So when yogis who have attained the state of being beyond time and space, it is it is one of the siddhis, the Anima, Garima, Mahima, Laghima, Prakamya, all the 8 siddhis that sit in the Sri Chakra. How have they attained it? They have attained it by having one pointed focus of all their energies being turned inwards and focusing only on one of those at a given time. They don't do all at the same time. Um, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, be it any other saint, be it Sai Baba, be it Hanumanji, all of them were gifted with Ashtasiddhis. All the saints who live in the now have practiced this by being in the now, focusing on one that is now in this moment. So, mother's energy, whether you know all this mm, aspect of her names, her siddhis, and the knowledge that comes from it, irrespective of that, just being in the now, focusing and doing just what you do, also is going to um, transcend you to a great degree in going beyond time and space, because what is now is what I'm focusing on now. That's it that I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mansi.
Is there anything else? Anyone would like to add anything? No questions? Mansi, is there anything you would like to add apart from what you just did?
Yeah, I have not been able to record a few of the book readings, which I will do in the coming few days. I will do it one by one, and all the jargon termed as jargon is actually not jargon, because it aids to achieving what the chapter is trying to say. So I will cover that up in the book reading, because I know, given the 1 hour slot that we have, it is important to focus on the gist of what it is. So I'll cover it slowly in the coming few days. When I get time in the afternoon, I will record it and keep sending the book reading of the chapters from where I left last. Because I was traveling in between, I lost continuity in that. That's all that I want to say.
That would help us a lot. Sorry, I think it had disconnected for a little. So on that note, we will end the session. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमादाय ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्